Wednesday, everybody. Hi, Louise.
Hi, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I almost missed the show.
I know you were late. You floof in your hair?
No, I don't know. It's kind of sticking up there.
Mine's kind of flat.
I can't see you.
I know, everything's dark back there.
So what's the temperature like down there by you?
It's like in the low 60s, but it's rainy.
Oh, okay. Well, we got rid of the rain, and now we've got 60s. But tomorrow we're supposed to get the last day of, I think, 62-ish, and then 30-mile-an-hour winds, and then it's going downhill from there.
Oh, yeah.
Like 30 degrees. So
that's nice. That means snow's coming your way.
Yeah. Stupid 4-letter word.
Yeah.
Hey, got something to tell you. I bet you don't know this, Louise. It's a surprise.
What?
We've got a new co-host.
I know, I heard.
You did?
I did. A little birdie told me.
Oh, should we tell everybody who it might be, or should we just let the person in?
I guess we'll have to tell them.
Oh, well, it's a person from the Florida area. She trained with, do you remember who she trained with?
Was it DeFore?
Eric DeFore. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a she, obviously. I let that one out. So anyway, let's just bring her in. I'm excited to start working with her. Let's go.
Hey.
Welcome, God.
How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. So I'm looking forward to hearing some stories about your most recent trip someday soon also.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I have so many stories to tell, but another time because we have very exciting guests today.
Yes. I would like to let you guys all know that we've got a lovely couple that is willing to join us tonight. Kat and Jaeden Land. Kramer actually passed on their information to me, and I hunted them down. So let's bring them in. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi there.
Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So, Kramer already. Congrats on being the new co-host. And thank you, Kramer, for finding this lovely couple. So, all right. So who wants to go first on Kat? He just threw you under the bus. All right. So tell us Army days. Let's go back. Does it go back even farther than Army days, or it must?
As far as
flying, anything?
Yes, technically. I was, I mean, I don't even think I was 21 yet. And I was working as a not cocktail waitress before 21, but I was working in a bar and frequenting a lot because, and I had linked up with a guy that I thought was all kind of cool and stuff, and turned out that he was a pilot and a flight instructor, and he took me up in my first ever flight. I hadn't even done a commercial flight by that point. It was, I want to say it was a 4-seater. Couldn't tell you what kind of plane it was. I don't remember. And he had offered to teach me, but I had quickly figured out that situation was not going to be a healthy situation. So I vacated and didn't learn and didn't get back into the air in any real capacity until I was in the Army. Okay. And at that point is when I went paratrooper.
Wow. So how many jumps?
Not as many as I wanted.
Okay.
Probably in the 30s. I had deployed during it, and you don't get to jump while you're deployed. And I had also gotten in trouble for chasing jumps because I had gotten injured, and the leadership really didn't want me jumping more than I had to, because they knew that there was something still wrong, but nobody knew that.
So, dumb question. Chasing jumps. So you were sneaking on the plane, and what is that?
Yes and no. Yes and no. So I was in the 82nd Airborne Division. So the jumps that I was usually on were with them, and they were scheduled and whatnot. There are other units on the base that also jumped, special forces and such like that. And there were weekend jumps where you could essentially show up, get yourself put on the manifest, and they would take you up if they had room. Special Forces was really good about that. They absolutely loved whenever the soldiers from the other units would come and say, "Hey, can I jump with you?" And it was a great experience because you'd get to jump from a variety of different aircraft. But my unit didn't like it so much.
So
I have a question for you, Kat, if you don't mind me jumping in, Jade.
Go for it.
So when you obviously all the jumps that you've had, you probably experienced so many different things. So what altitudes did you jump from, and what types of different gear that you use? Like, what is the range of experience that you had with your jumps?
So our favorite jumps were always 1,200 feet, because you would have more time to just kind of hang out up there. They often, would have us jump out at 800. We never jumped at the lower combat level, because they basically reserved that for combat situations. We had our Hollywood jumps, which were, just your basic. It was a belt with suspenders, essentially, that had your water on it. And if you wanted, you could have like a little fanny pack type thing. We called them butt packs attached to the belt. Or you could stuff, snacks and stuff like that in there. They didn't want you stuffing snacks, but we did. And then there were the combat jumps where you had the basic belt and suspenders. They called it an LCE or LBE at the time. And then you would also have a rucksack, which is a very large backpack, essentially like a hiking backpack, but not quite. And you had to have a minimum of 35 pounds in it. Sometimes they dictated exactly what was in it. Other times you could put whatever you wanted in it, so long as it met weight. And then, of course, the parachute on your back and the reserve on your front. And when you had the big pack, it actually hung from the rigging of the parachute on the front, and it went down over your legs. And then you generally jumped with a weapon as well, and that was in a case and strapped to the side. And as you were on your way down, you had to pull a strap at a particular point in time to release that stuff. So it wasn't like it was attached to you still, but it wasn't right up next to your body. That way, when you landed, you didn't break your bones, or you were less likely to break your bones.
Wow.
Okay. So Duckspit's asking, does that mean you were in Fort Bragg?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was in Fort Bragg.
Okay. And then Tony's in here from Vegas. What's that, Jay?
I think it's now renamed to, it's Camp Liberty, I think is what it's now.
Yeah, I think
or
that's
Fort
what
Liberty. Yeah, it got renamed.
Oh, okay. Now explain, he's asking, any Halo jumps?
No, I was not Halo. I did not have that opportunity afforded to me.
What does that mean?
What is that?
Halo is your high altitude, low opening. Those are the jumps where you, to my understanding, need oxygen.
Oh, okay. Good question, Tony. Those are the crazy people that do that.
I mean, I would have done it. I would have done it. They didn't give me that opportunity.
Better shoots.
Yeah, better shoots, definitely.
Okay, so Jay, you were in
So
the
is this
military.
how you met? Is this how you met, Kat? You were chasing jumps and you ran into
No,
competing
no.
people. Is that what happened?
Our
Let's hear
path
your
to
story
meeting,
before you jump into that.
yeah, our path to meetings was a little different. It was well after our divisional time. So I came to the military right out of high school in '96. Went straight into the 101st Airborne Air Assault Division. So our running joke in the house is I'm the dope on the rope. She's the lawn dart. So it's just healthy rivalry. But we teased each other about it. I always point out that we jumped first, so it's fine. It's fine.
We just jumped in.
Yeah, so I spent some time there and bounced around the military. Oh Lord, I went from Fort Campbell in the 101st to Korea for 3 years, where I actually started learning how to fly at the Osan Aero Club. A lot of soldiers that go to Korea, you spend the year in the bar. I was there for 3.5 years, so I don't think my liver was going to take 3.5 years in the bars. So I opted to go do some other things, and during one of I worked on an airborne platform working King Air 200s. I was an equipment crew chief on the King Air 200 for that stint. And it allowed me to go up to Osan when we had to displace for our runway maintenance. And I saw they had an aero club, and on lunch I wandered over and I learned how to. I was like, well, what does it take to join? They're like, oh, $75, and it's $50 an hour plus instructor. I'm like, I'm in. I spent more than that in the bars every night, so I'm in. And so I started flying, learning how to fly 172s while I was in Korea. It took me about 3.5 years to get my private pilot's license. I PCS'd our permanent change of station to Arizona, became an instructor there, and that's where I finished up my pilot's training. And after I left, I went to Fort Lewis, where I deployed to Iraq, came back. This is all in like a 3-year cycle, roughly. When we went to our particular jobs, took us to Fort Huachuca in Arizona a lot. Once you got stuck in that rotation, you were there about every 3 years or so. So when I came back the second time to Fort Huachuca, I got assigned to the NCO Academy, and that's where me and Kat met. Mm-hmm. I was teaching one course, and she was teaching another in the same organization. And we became friends because I would come out and shovel horse poop. I wasn't afraid of working, and I lived in my fifth wheel at the time in my RV, and it was something to get out of the fifth wheel. She was actually seeing somebody else at that time, but I enjoyed being around the horses and hanging out and working on a ranch. So she couldn't quite run me off at that point. Eventually we started dating, and then we got married in 2012 after I got back from Afghanistan. And then we bounced around to 2 more assignments. Ended up back at Fort Huachuca for our final assignment, and then retired and started working out there as a displaced equipment trainer. Well, she was equipment trainer we worked for the same company actually at that time.
Yeah.
And then contracting being what it is, they dried up, and a good friend of hers, his husband worked for the company I work for now, and here we are in Texas. I packed up the RV, moved out here, and started looking for a property. And during that time when we were in Arizona, I actually owned a Cessna 170 and just put a Sportsman Stole kit on it. Got that one picture that was in the intro was me standing in front of a Citabria that just got my tail wheel endorsement in that picture. And I was doing acro at the time, and opportunity came up to buy that 170. I bought it, got quite a few hours in it, and then I put it in to get a Sportsman Stole kit installed because I was going to do some backcountry flying, and me and Kat were just going to john around the wilds of Arizona, the back strips. Ended up ground looping it and balled it up in an accident. Walked away without a single bruise. And that was the last time I've been in a general aviation plane. I took a break from flying. When we got out here to Texas, I started getting that itch again, and prices have went way up since last time I had to rent a plane. And then I found Ron out at Lone Star and called him up. He invited me out on a Sunday, and ended up doing a tandem ride. And I spent the day out there and ended up kiting. And I'm like, I'm in. I signed up, and then I asked Kat, I'm like, hey, do you mind if I go do this? And she was all excited. And at the time, she was still in Arizona. with Jaeden, our daughter, and the horses and animals. And so it got into that was in October. I started in the January class, and in that time period, Kat and everybody got moved out
We
here.
were here before your class.
Oh, that's right, you were.
Yeah, we were here
Oh,
before
okay.
your class.
It all blurs together. I started training with Ron in the January class. Had a blast. Kramer ended up giving me a call sign because my first few takeoffs, I just hopped in the seat. But thankfully, there was enough lift to keep me off the dirt mostly. I didn't break a prop, so I got away with it. But I finally learned not to do that. But so you can kind of see it behind me. I have a very bright green helmet I wear. So she gave me the nickname or the moniker of Grasshopper. So I shortened it to Hopper. And it's fine. I'll take it and I'll wear it with pride. So,
Nice.
and during that, I got Kat, worked with Ron and got Kat to come out. And I was already in the air on my own at that point. And she got to come out. I got to fly with her when she was on her tandem. I got to fly with Jaeden when she was on her tandem. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
So out of all your hobbies, which are the best, the favorites of each of y'all's?
My hobbies are hers because I don't think you have a podcast long enough for mine. So, one thing I have found about Paramotor is it pulls a lot of my hobbies together into one place. I really like tinkering with stuff. I have a 3D printer. It's actually in our office. I 3D printed a string relief for my throttle cable. Oh Lord, there's so much stuff. We're both amateur radio operators, so that feeds right into the radio side of things with paramotors. The headsets, working all that. Yeah, it's photography's in there. There's so much I can't even keep track. Right now, it's paramotor flying.
Paramotor. How about you, Kat?
Oh gosh. So yeah, my biggest one is, biggest hobby as well as businesses with the horses, because I train and give lessons and such like that.
9
No,
horses.
we're down. We don't have 9 anymore. We have 9 on the property, but they're not all ours.
Oh,
We board as well. We're kind of doing like boutique boarding, if you will, because I don't have the facilities built up here like I had in Arizona. We've got a lot of work to do for that. So we have like just a small few that are boarders, and they kind of work with what we've got available at the time. So that's a big thing for me. And I like to teach, so I'm looking at creating a web-based course that relates to things with the horses and whatnot. And I won't go into too much detail on that because I don't want to spill those beans completely yet. But hopefully that'll come together and be something useful for the equine community. And of course, I like to fly. I like the paramotor. I'm still learning, so I've only got 3 flights in. I'm kind of taking the long, slow path because I started foot launch, and my body said no.
Oh.
I tried. I really did try, but I've had enough injuries that it just wasn't working. And so I had switched to trike, and that's where I've gotten 3 flights in. You saw, I think the video was my 2nd takeoff.
you gave me a heart attack on that one the first time I saw it.
So do we have
that was not the scary one.
Oh,
so
That
do
was
we
not
have
the
that
scary
video?
one. No. My 3rd takeoff, which is the most recent one that I've done, and I didn't send you the video. That was a pucker factor for everybody. Even the people that usually don't bother watching anybody's takeoffs got up and came out of the hangar going, "Oh no, this is not going to be good." And And interestingly enough, though I should have been terrified, I was not. Probably because I've had so many unpleasant landings airborne that I was like, oh, yeah, this is not a good thing. Managed to pull it off. I will be talking with Ron because we've got to work through what created that situation. And a lot of it was operator headspace and timing. So it was on my part, and it should have been a ditch takeoff. But I didn't ditch it. I stuck with it, and I managed to pull it out. But yeah, that'll be something that I talk with Ron and work through some of the things so that we can mitigate it. Because I am such an inexperienced pilot, I need to know my limits and know when to go. Yeah, I don't like this setup, and go from there. So
Yeah, definitely. And it's always good to go over them. I feel, and that's why I always like either having the GoPro pointed at me so I could see the wing, to see what happened, on my failed launches or when I crashed, which I think it's coming soon that we can maybe talk about it someday. Bill H wants to know if he will meet you at the Heart of Texas fly-in.
I'm not sure when that one is, actually. I have to check with Ron. Maybe.
Bill, let us know when and where. So, any other
I had the
questions?
opportunity to go out to Bad Apples, which was an awesome experience. It was my first one. Work and that all coincided at the same time, so it was a lot of fun.
Did you fly at all?
I did. Good. Actually, that's where I broke my very first prop, was at Bad Apples. Behind me. Yeah, that was thankfully there is not a single video of that landing, so officially I guess it never happened.
There's got to be one somewhere.
I have looked. Nobody got it on video.
We watched a lot of video from Bad Apples trying to find it.
How did you feel flying at Bad Apples? How many flights had you had before Bad Apples, and how was the transition from, flying at your home airport within your comfort zone to a big fly-in like that?
For me, the even flying out of Kitty Hawk, I had to get over the crowded airspace feeling, because coming from general aviation, you just don't have other aircraft that close to you. So I had some nerves with that, and I had to but I've learned the maneuverability of the wings, and I got a lot more comfortable with it. I think I was maybe 4 or 5 flights out after my PPG-2 rating by the time I went to Bad Apples, and I got 3 or 4 flights in there. I'd have to look at my gaggle. But it was a lot of fun. Got up and got away from the area and just went and played around over some of the fields and didn't hang out with a crowded area. And really wasn't that bad. The wet grass is why I slid out and just kind of my feet, landing gear just went forward, and I just settled right on my bottom and just. But yeah, it wasn't bad.
Oh, and also the Heart of Texas fly-in, that's Kramer's. So
okay.
Sorry, Kramer, I didn't remember the name of it. And Eric just put the USPPA link to it, so you guys can all look at the information in there that he had put in there.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can do that.
Yeah,
it's a thin spice word.
So I'm going to quickly say hi. If you haven't made a comment and you're on the chat, do so, as I've got my bag of goodies here for a name throw. Bonnie, welcome to the show. John Wayne, Scuba, Patricia J, that's my mama. Walter from Down Under, Justin, Kramer. I forget, Bill H. I don't remember if I just said him. Wendy's in the house, Pennsylvania PPG.
Hey, Wendy.
My husband, Eric, PPG Lear. Tony Marzano. Tony's not working for the Formula One stuff tonight. He's setting up apparently out there in Vegas for that. So looks like that's about it. Linda Anderson, can't miss her. But thank you all for coming in the chat. If I missed you, just say hi again. So, but thank you all. I appreciate it. So, let's see. Jay, where do you? Oh, I got a question about you. You said you do engineering.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and you
I'm
say
technically a non-degree engineer.
you get paid to break things.
I do.
What kinds of things?
Mostly software and computer systems.
Mhm.
So our customer develops equipment or programs, and they get turned loose on them to break them. Develop a test plan, and I channel my private days, my E1 private days when I was in the Army, and I just start acting bored, and I can find a way to break almost anything. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And it's just a lot of problem solving and just identifying root cause, and it's fun. And the people I work with, they're really great. I've enjoyed it.
Tony says he wants that job and he can break anything.
The best part is I don't have to fix it. I just have to break it, and then or try to break it, and then tell the engineers, "Hey, y'all need to fix this."
Yeah,
So what are you trying to do? Like put a bug in the corrupted, or are you, when they're done working a program, smash it and demagnetize it?
So most of the stuff with the software, I just use it as a user would, and then try to find if there's any defects in the programming. I don't have to look at lines of code or anything like that, but yeah, I just go through, and if it's not acting how it's intended, I note it and see how far I can take that exploit if I can, and just kind of take it from there. It's truly a lot of fun, and the group I work with, they make it really fun to go to work every day. So I'm really happy that I found this job, and it actually brought us here to Texas, and we love Texas. So this has actually been a really.
You
good.
like all the heat, although you were in Arizona.
Not much difference, is there?
We got grass.
Yeah.
We still have cactus. I wish we didn't have the cactus, but we're slowly getting rid of them.
Yeah. We still have mesquite trees.
Yeah.
But we have oaks now.
Yeah.
And all the trees are taller.
Yeah.
So how'd you like training at Lone Star?
I really enjoyed it. In fact, Ron has a hard time running me off from there. I came in for class, and I pretty much haven't left. Although with work, I haven't been around for this particular class he just finished up. I enjoy it. They just moved to a new hangar, a new space.
Oh, really?
It has a lot nicer area for the students to learn. It'll be a lot better learning environment, nicer hangar in general. But even what we were in before, it was nice. I mean, it was a really friendly, open, and accepting environment. And when I was out there training, if I was having problem kiting or something like that, there was always somebody around to help. Say, hey, well, what about this? Have you tried this? And we're just really willing to help out. They'll drag wings around, reset you. It made the learning experience really fun and easy. Although me and Steve ran a lot when we were kiting. We had enough wind, and we were running back and forth. And the best way to get good at hand kiting is get tired of running and resetting your wing, and then you'll just learn to fly it back to the start and do it again. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I like the structure that Ron had, and I know it's very safe. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had allowed cats come and do it. I have had some flight lessons from some sketchy equipment and some sketchy flight instructors on the general aviation side. That's not an area you really want that. And Paramotor being the same thing, and everything that I've seen from Lone Star, I just want to help out and make sure that they're around for a long time, because I think they got a good thing going.
We got to pause for 1 second. Everybody wants to know what shirt Deweese has got on. Deweese likes skulls.
This is my birthday shirt.
From a flying flamingo. They're flamingos that made
Yeah.
a skull.
Isn't it cool?
That is cool.
I got it from Jade. Thank you very much, Jade.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes,
So-
my birthday was Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Happy birthday.
Thanks for birthday wishes, everybody.
How young are you?
Oh, I'm not telling anybody that. I'm about 30.
Well, happy belated birthday, Deweese.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad to have you as a friend.
I'm glad to have you as a friend too,
Yeah.
and all my friends in the chat.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Tony says Randy's going to need therapy. That's where he's at right now.
Randy says I'm 100. Yes, he makes me think I'm 100.
So where do you look to go with your paramotoring, both of you? Where do you look to take it?
Mine's short, so anyway.
I really just anywhere. And I'll be triking, so I certainly won't be doing acro, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I enjoy being in the air. When I had done my tandem, the first thing that came to mind was I'm back in the air again, because I really enjoyed jumping. And it's kind of nice to be able to not descend immediately. You can stay up for a while and enjoy it. And, then when Ron tells you you have to come down, then you come down.
Do you ever tell him, no, I don't want to?
No, because he knows what I don't know. And, that there's,
Yep.
I mean, the times that he's asked me if I wanted to, I knew it was time because I was starting to feel the thermals and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, it's getting a little sketchy up here. It's time to come down. My bump tolerance is not that high yet. So yeah, I guess so. No, but yeah.
Okay. Hold that thought, Jay. We're going to do the spinny names, okay?
Okay.
Oh, I got to share my screen here. Sorry. All right. Here we go. Good luck. Bonnie.
Congratulations, Bonnie.
So Bonnie, I'm going to give you the option. Let me get back to the screen here. I've got some of these bands that have some sayings on them, some cool sayings. Bag of them. Or I've got all my keychains that have me kiss me before flight, follow your dreams, and then oh boy.
I saw either Bonnie or Brian out mowing or blowing their yard.
Yeah, that was Bonnie. I told her, watch out for sticks.
Yeah, make great lawn leaf blowers, don't they?
Yeah. All right. As soon as I get some stamps, I will get my past ones out also. I apologize for that. I've got them sitting right here. So Bonnie, just let me know what you want. So, all right. Jay, do you have any questions at all, or?
Well, I was going to finish up the part.
Oh,
where I was
yes,
gonna
Jay.
start that one. We met actually teaching adults in the military, so I enjoy the teaching aspect of it. I love flying. When I was in general aviation, I wanted to start getting lower and slower, and this is the perfect medium for that. Just to go around and sightsee and stuff like that. But I've helped Ron with a few classes. I'm out there dragging wings. I help with kiting, so I'm hoping to go down the path of learning how to teach. and instruct us.
How far are you from their school?
We're about an hour,
Oh,
but yeah, I work up in San Antonio, which is 40 minutes away, so I just drive the other side of town.
oh, okay.
I try to get up there when as often as I can to help out when they have classes
Good.
started.
So,
Good.
Kat, what do you do as for work? You train horses? Or-
I train horses. I give riding lessons. Again, with the move, my infrastructure is a little bit challenging at the moment. I have a place to do that stuff, but it's not as nice, if you will, as most locations and as I had in Arizona. And it's just a work in progress in terms of that goes. But that's primarily what I do, and then take care of the household and such like that. So
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Tony's
So
got a
I saw
question.
in your bio. Oh,
Go ahead, G.
I was gonna say that I saw in your bio that you also have a background in Raytheon. So you have done work there for a while, or do you still work with them, or how's that? And what
I'm no
exactly do you
longer
do?
with them. Yeah, I'm no longer with them. When I started with them, I was teaching one of the courses on post. It was for working a particular piece of equipment and methodology and such. And then JPCS'd to Kentucky, so I had to switch roles. And out there, I started doing SQL coding and did that after we came back from Arizona as well for a while, until the contract stuff started really making some big changes. And I stepped out of the realm at that point and was incredibly busy fairly quickly with training. So I'm not with Raytheon anymore, and I went very, very deep into lessons and working with the Tombstone High School and such like that for a while.
So did you
Those
ever
are
fly
very
with any of the people down there?
Say
Sorry.
again?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say those are very different things. One of them is office environment, and sitting at a computer, and the other is just being a wild spirit out there with the
Yeah, I'm a little
nature.
flexible.
Yeah, I love that. It's a good balance.
So
Thank you.
Tony's got a quick question. Being skydivers, do they swoop in with their? Oh, do you guys swoop in with your PPGs?
So I do foot launch, and I've started working my way to that, but I'm not. I like a good steady approach. I'm
Right.
still at that stage right now. I haven't really gotten into the deep swoops down. I'm still learning. I'm flying on a Spider 3 right now, 26 meter, I think it is. So yeah, I'm not there yet. I do want to learn it, get good at doing those, but I'm not there yet.
Okay.
And I'm still a very inexperienced pilot, so I'm not swooping anything.
I hear you.
No swooping.
No swooping.
All right. Is there any other questions that Deweese or G do you have? Brian's back.
Brian's got one.
I just bumped it off.
What MOS duty station for military? Or maybe he already missed it. Yeah, I don't know.
So the Army in my time frame redesignated MOSs to realign them. But I started out as a 33 Tango, which and most people are like, I have no idea what that is. Then I went to a 33 Whiskey, then a 35 Tango, all the same MOS, they just redesignated us. And the official title was Military Intelligence Systems Maintainer Integrator. And when I retired, because of my rank level as a Master Sergeant, I was a Chief Military Intelligence Systems Integrator Maintainer. So that was mine.
And I started as a 98 Charlie, and then they redesignated to a 35 November, and that was a signals intelligence analyst. It ended as just signals intelligence analyst. Originally, it was an electronical warfare signals intelligence analyst. So they kind of simplified it a little bit.
Wow, interesting.
Gee, you want to read that one?
All right. I am excited to read that one because I actually was thinking about it. So, Jay, tell us about the sewing repairs that you did for the paramotors.
Yeah. So I made the mistake and let Ron and company know that I kind of knew how to sew. And actually, during one of my classes, we had some harnesses that needed to be repaired. One of the students that was in class with me had a piece of Velcro. This was a freak thing that happened that actually came loose a little bit, grabbed the prop and threw him back in face first into the ground. So I brought I have a hand cranked, it's a knockoff of a Singer Model 29 hand crank sewing machine, and it will sew leather. And I brought that in, and I was able to make some repairs. I've done some repair work for harnesses. I do not do repair work on anything it's life critical. I put that out there right now. I'll put a buckle on for somebody that'll hold like a bag, things like that. I don't do any of the life critical stuff. But yeah, a lot of repairs, harnesses, wear and tear. I have a Parajet Maverick, and up at the neck elm, apparently that's a common point that the seam rips loose. So I've repaired mine plus a couple at the school, and just try to help out when I can. It's a skill that my mother taught me how to do when I was growing up. So why not use it here?
What about the straps that you made?
Oh yeah, I did beef up some straps for some trikers for the Clebre trike. They hold the swing arms to the frame. Some needed some shorter or longer ones, so I've made a couple of those for them. And it is way over engineered. Talking about 304 stainless buckles, solid buckles, and tubular webbing that's rated, I think, 10,000 psi. So
Wow.
I definitely would make sure I over engineer stuff, but if I can help people out, I will. I got some sewing work to do actually for a couple of the guys out at the hangar. And if they're listening, I haven't forgotten. I just haven't been out there.
That's a very useful skill to have. There's just between that and 3D printing and your engineering just mindset, seeing how to break things so you can fix them and make them better. So that's
it's definitely come in handy. Part of the class was learning how to replace lines because some of the riser lines and the glider lines, and I usually get if I'm out there, I'm usually one of the ones that's replacing glider lines. It just makes sense to me. I can see it in my mind's eye and take them apart one at a time and get them put back together. So it's a lot of fun. I'm glad I can help.
So, Kat, does he use those skills at home?
He does.
Wow.
Yeah, he does.
That's a good thing. Kramer wants to know if Kat, have you decided on what kind of trike you like?
Oh, I like the Calibre.
Mm-mm.
No, not the Calibre. What was it?
It's Power to Fly.
Yes, the Power to Fly. That's what it was.
Or Fly Products, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm messing it up too.
Yeah, but that Calibre is sexy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute, but yeah, I've been kind of eyeballing those in the packages and whatnot to see how it
Tony
kind
says,
of
Tony says go with the trike buggy. Sorry.
Trike buggy will save your life.
Yeah.
I'll agree to that.
And I've rolled mine once or twice.
Kramer says the Vertigo.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's what he talks about too. Duckspit wants to know, Jay, what wing you're on.
I'm on an Ozone Spider 3. That's the one that I ended up picking up. With Ron's help of asking the right questions, I picked up some used gear. Only had 4 hours on it. So I lucked out with that. During training, though, I was flying a Dudek solo, and I really liked the solo. It was fun. I'm a bit on the round side, so that 26, I thought it was going to be too big for me. Turns out I'm about 85, 90% weight loading on that. So it does pretty good for me.
Okay. So how often do you both go out there? Are you both going out to kite, or Kat, are you able to go out there and kite at all, or
I
can you
usually
do it
kind
out?
of.
I was just going to say, can you do it out by probably not out by the horses, but
Oh, yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
down there?
Oh, they're used to all the crazy stuff we do around them. They're not skittish.
Yeah.
So I
That's
got
cool.
on a Facebook marketplace frenzy, and I found a kiting wing. This was when Kat was, I think, about to start training, or
I was about to start.
and because I knew that with the way our animals are and lifestyle and stuff like that, sometimes we can't always get up there. So we're like, I need to practice too, and I don't want to bring out my Spider 3 all the time. So I found a screaming deal on I think it was a Roadrunner. Yeah, it's a Roadrunner, I think.
Roadster?
Or not a, was it a Roadster? It was Ozone's newer kiting wing. It's packed up next to my flying wing and in our office. And yeah, I got her started there doing a little bit of kiting, and then after her class, kept her kiting. So we have a 27-acre plot here, and we have two of our pastures are open enough that we can get out there and kite with them. So it's a lot of fun.
That's perfect.
So Tony wants to know what you think about the tip steering on a Spider 3.
I've had fun with it. I am not tied in yet. I'm still doing both of them together, brakes and tip steer together, or I'll just do tip steer to play around. It's a lot of fun. Honestly though, I get up if I'm gonna. My two flight profiles are either I'm at a moderate couple thousand feet, park the brakes and just weight shift around just to go sightsee, or I'm down in the fields chasing deer. And if I'm down there, I'm usually not on the tip steering. So, but I definitely use it when I got to get on the ground quickly because I can carve down, do some deep S turns with it, and get down quickly. I enjoy it. I think it's they were tied a little long, had to shorten them a little bit, but they're fun. They're definitely the fun toggles.
Do you guys have any scary moments so far?
Oh yeah.
Amazing moments while starting to fly in the Paramotor?
I'm gonna grab my helmet real quick, actually.
Or even the plane?
Well, the plane, yes, but so we both have Team Windy helmets. They're the backcountry SAR. Very comfortable, lightweight. It's hard for people to see.
Yeah.
There's a buckle back there, the BOA system.
Wait, hang on. Try it again.
That BOA system buckle right here.
Oh, yeah.
It sticks out just enough to get caught in netting. And I think it was my 4th flight. And I was climbing out and I was doing my safety checks, and that knob got caught in my netting on climb out with my head turned sideways. And I just remembered everything that Ron was telling me. It's like, the wing's flying, we'll just let it fly, get some altitude and figure it out. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I did. It became a non-issue. I had a full flight, but it was one of those like, okay, that's so I flew with tape on that for a while, and then I learned don't throw my head so far back, and maybe that's just a rookie thing to really get back to look at it. So that was one thing. I was coming in for a landing. This was all during training, and I did this. It looked if I'd done it on purpose, it would have looked amazing. Not on purpose. I ended up with a double foot drag and tick-tocking the wingtips to the ground. and managed to actually power. I just powered on and brake checked it into the air. I got into pilot-induced oscillation, and yeah. So that was my two with paramotoring. Funny, never really scared about the whole thing. Just like, how am I going to get out of this? So that was that. I've had a couple of close calls flying general aviation in my very ease that I only also. This is the one that was actually in the intro slideshows or intro piece. I was taking off. I had two instances. One of them, though, my canopy came open during flight, and you can't close them, so you just have to kind of figure out how to land it. And then I also had an engine out in some rugged terrain, and they do not do well in rugged terrain. And that was my true scary moment. Even when I ground looped my 170, it happened so quickly I didn't have time to be scared. So.
Wow. So Justin said cover for your helmet.
I have looked at that, and I put the GoPro and videoing your stuff is amazing. I actually fly with the Insta360 RS1. I put my 360 lens on, and I clamped it over onto my over on the cage, and I saw what I was doing. That I was just actually it was bad posture. I was throwing my head back rather than rotating it up. So I've made that correction, and I haven't had any issues since then. So, and I think my hang point was a little off at that time too. So fix those, and that seems to have helped. But I have already thought about that, and in my Fusion 360, I already have one ginned up. I just hadn't printed it.
Okay. And Kramer says that you guys can bring the horses to the fly-in. She's got 8.3 miles of trails you can explore.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was going to say I'll come, but no, I can't even stand yet. Never mind.
Tony wants to know if you've ever had any malfunctions skydiving.
I think the worst I've had when I've been jumping, and it's a little bit different from commercial skydiving. It's with the Army as a paratrooper, or being airborne, as they say. It's a static line jump rather than the skydive jump. And the difference being the skydive jump, you have to open your parachute, whereas being airborne in the static line, the airplane opens your chute because you're attached to it. And so as you jump out, it pulls your chute out and then disconnects it. It's like a piece within the packing tray of the chute. And probably the most significant, the most notable, I guess, that I remember. Well, okay, now I'm thinking about more. I've had a twist. And that was
riser twist.
Yeah, I've had a riser twist. That was essentially a non-issue. The bicycle kick that you're taught in the paramotor school when you've got a twist, it does work. I've done it as a paratrooper. It works. You just kick your feet. I've had an instance where I was kind of I was a drag, so I was like the release from the plane was delayed, so I ended up like bouncing off the side of the airplane.
Oh, geez.
I mean, it was a little uncomfortable. It wasn't that big of a deal. And then
Felt like a bug.
Yeah. Yes, I'll get to that one. I've had a static line injury. It was a very minor one, and that's the person ahead of me threw their static line, so it didn't get grabbed right away. So as I was handing mine off and then coming down, put my hands over my reserve, I ended up catching that static line. Fortunately, it was like a really cold morning, but I had decided to take off. No cutaways. I had decided to take off my extra warmies underneath. So I actually felt the static line slapping up my arm, and I threw my arm back like I was riding a bull and shook it off. So I just ended up with like really high bruising and a minor tear to the rotator cuff. And then there was the tree that Jay was talking about. We were supposed to be jumping Andrews Airfield for the president, so we were jumping Hollywood, which is, you know, just your LCE. You've got your boat, your canteens, and the suspender-looking things. Winds were too bad there, so they brought us back to Fort Bragg, and they cleared us to jump Nijmegen Drop Zone, which has been nicknamed the Widowmaker because it's got a lot of small trees and other such stuff on it. And as we were getting ready to go out, the jump master and the Air Force as well, right at the moment I'm forgetting the position, but they checked the wind speed on the outside, and initially they blew 30 knots. So we had 30 knots wind, and then immediately they said 3 knots and started sending us out. It was not 3 knots, it was 30. And as I was coming down, I ended up going through somebody else's lines. Just that was the direction that it took me. We both went down into the trees, and I ended up like a turtle in the tree that I had leveled. I don't even know how many trees I leveled, but the ones that I was stuck in were like maybe 8 to 12 foot. So I'm on my back like a turtle, and I'm only about a foot off the ground, but I can't get out of it. Not roll over because I was so stuck. So my platoon sergeant at the time came running because he happened to land nearby and see it go down and cut me out of all of that. Got me out of the that one. I ended up injured, but we didn't know it. I think it was, oh gosh, it was several years later, and I ended up having to have a couple of surgeries to repair the labrum in my hip and such like that. So that was my first round of surgeries.
So Duckspit wants to know, no cutaways?
No cutaways.
Oh, good. Cody is piping up now finally, and he says, tell him about your one and done first flight. Who's he talking to?
I'm not sure on that one.
I don't know.
Cody, explain.
Cody was actually my instructor when I went through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he worked with me on my first class. I ended up taking 2 classes before I got in the air because I had started foot launch and had to switch. I didn't switch until the second class, and it wasn't the beginning of the second class. I was still trying to go foot launch, and the combination of the harnesses and the motors and such didn't fit my body. I'm compact, a little round, but compact.
She also has hardware in her pelvis.
I do. I have hardware in my pelvis, and with the surgeries that I'd mentioned from the injury before, and then the injury that required the hardware to get put in there, non-airborne injury, it made it difficult for me to be able to lift my knees up in such a way to get the seat to slide underneath. And that was where I was running into trouble and had, well, one of the ways I was running into trouble and had to switch to trike. And he might be talking about my first one, because I'm pretty sure that as soon as they got me on an actual flight wing and not a kiting wing, Ron talked me through, and I rolled on and went on out. I don't think I had a reset on that.
Who's working with you on the trike now?
It's been Ron.
Just Ron. Okay.
I did have, I think I had words.
Mark?
No.
Travis?
No, female.
Oh, Rain.
Rain, yes. I don't know. It's late. I did have Rain working with me on one of the flights. But Ron has been primary as far as the trike because the others were working on some additional training and such like that.
Okay. Well, I've only heard good things about Lone Star. I've met, I think, most of the instructors down there. Rain and Travis and Ron and Mark George. I think that's all I really know. So.
Well, you had Cody on.
Cody. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Haven't met him in person yet, though. We had him on the show. So, very nice.
Yep.
So, Gada, you're still here.
Yes, I've been so much fun. I didn't want to go. But, later, I guess. But I do have to go soon, though.
Yeah, I put the link in here. If you guys, it sounds like they're willing to stick around for a few minutes. Just remember, if you use the link, log in using Google or I think it's Firefox, Foxfire, whatever. Use one of those with that link I just put in there, and then you can join in and say hi to Kat and Jay, and if G comes back at all after she puts her son to bed. So. Tony's asking a question here. Do they ever think about getting a tandem so they can fly together?
Actually, that is on our plan, but not to fly together.
No.
Somebody's getting pushed out?
No. So we're not exactly the most sane people, I don't think, because about 3 years ago we've always had dogs since we've been together. And our 2 old dogs that Kat had, they passed on. They were older. So we ended up, she said, okay, your turn to pick a breed. So I wanted a German Shepherd again. So through happenstance, we ended up with 2. And then I added a 3rd one, all full sisters from the same litter. And we're like, it'd be really cool if we just take the dogs with us. So
that's why we want a tandem. Take the dogs.
And also, I really want to be able to. I also want to be able to help other people experience the thrill of flight. I mean, it is such an amazing experience, especially on the paramotor, because there's really nothing in front of you. It's just, and it's a lot calmer than I think that most people would realize. The people I work with, there's quite a few that are interested, but I don't think they've worked up the courage yet to come out and try it. I'm hoping they will, but I just want to be able to help others experience that same joy and freedom of flight. And,
That still doesn't explain why you don't want to fly together.
Oh no! Because I like being in control. She likes being in control.
Yeah, it's when we were riding motorcycles, I enjoyed riding with him, but I also wanted to be in control. So we set up with 2 motorcycles.
Everything's pretty much double. So yeah, I mean, we do a lot. We do stuff together, but it's usually in our own lanes of control.
Yeah.
But separate.
Yeah.
Got it.
So my husband's got a tandem, and I was his guinea pig when he was doing his flights that he had to do for training, and I had to go put her son to bed. Anyway, it's like I didn't like being in that thing. It's like I didn't like not having controls.
It's a different feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
I
And
don't-
Deweese's husband loves riding or flying with Eric.
Mhm.
So
But you know what? When we were riding motorcycles, when we had a trike, he liked riding with me, but me driving. He didn't want to drive. He wanted me to drive. He rode bitch. He rode bitch.
what?
Yeah. He loved it.
Oh.
He'd sit back there.
Well, Kat rode with me a few times, but I was a very aggressive rider. I went through 4 sets of peg guards on my 1300 Honda. So
Oh yeah.
I was throwing sparks every chance I could.
I trust you though, so it was okay. But I wanted to be able to do it too.
Now, when he started doing that, he had a cast on his arm and on his leg.
Oh, wow.
Then he just learned to like it. He just sit back there and ride.
Oh, so any other questions before we can maybe end this? I want to say welcome to, looks like we got a new viewer, Jacob.
Hi,
thank you
Jacob.
for joining with us tonight. So, but thanks everyone for sticking with us again this week. I got to look and see who we've got next week real quick.
G is back. That didn't take long.
Yeah, he helps sometimes. He's
He said, "Get in the bed, hurry up! I gotta get back."
I know. That's kind of what happened.
So next week we don't have anybody, so I think we're going to do a Thanksgiving show.
Oh, yeah. That'll be good. Yeah.
What we're thankful for.
Yeah.
So, but if you guys want to stick around, I'll post the link here one more time, and you can meet Kat and Jay and Gata, and just for a few minutes, because I'm sure she wants to go to bed.
You guys come in and say hello.
Yeah, stop in and say hi. So thank you all for hanging out tonight, and keep flying safe, everybody. Have a good night.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
We gonna take it, 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 gonna take it to the top. I'm Call my name, yes, come and say my name. Call my name, I'm never gonna stop if you just call my name. I'm never gonna drop it, gonna take it, take it, take it to the top, 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 top. Gonna make it hot, gonna make it till it drops. Never gonna pick it up, gonna take it to the top. I'm gonna make it, never gonna fake it. Gonna make it, never gonna fake it. We gonna take it, 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 I'm gonna take it to the top. I'm gonna make it to the top. We're gonna make it to the top. We're gonna bring our hands up. 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 I'm